there's your ECU, there's your ulnar styloid, right? Okay, it should run through the middle, nice and easy. What happens is if you have an FCU that is pulling your carpal row down, people end up sitting lower over here, right? There's your FCU. Now, if you have ECU tendonitis, we all know in our heart of hearts that splinting is not going to do anything. Those people are in so much pain, right? Because splinting and immobilizing something is not going to make it better most of the time, right? Can it help it a little bit to calm it down? Yes. But long-term splinting is not going to make it better because you've got an imbalance, right? You have a joint fault with a muscle imbalance. That's where their pain is rubbing on that styloid. So you put them in a splint that keeps them still, chances are that's going to get more stuck. Okay? So you have to get that up at a diagonal, up like that in a diagonal. That's why we do. You bring it around, right? That up. If it's really bad, you got to get fifth metacarpal up because that's the insertion of ECU. So if you have somebody that had a metacarpal fracture, so I always say you have an ulnar styloid chip fracture, so right there, you have a TFCC right there, you have a metacarpal fracture right there, you have pinky fractures down here. Your nerve is going to be influenced on every single one of those. Pain is always in the nervous system. Is it created by a joint fault and a muscle imbalance? 100%. But if you have scars in these areas, you've got to free up the skin. So the skin will get stuck behind the ulnar styloid, on the distal side of the ulnar styloid, on the wrist crease, then down here on the top of the hand. So if you're asking for more length on a pinky fracture, you better go to the nerve from the beginning because it's not going to go with you. It's got too many corners to go around. So think about that again. The nervous system will lead everything. We've been so focused, especially when we're talking about stiff hands and everything. Free up the skin. The stiff hand will never change unless you free up the skin because the nerves are stuck. Okay? So in this scenario, we're going to tape up and we're going to tape across. That's why we did that yesterday. Okay?